Good afternoon, Bravehearts, and thanks for dropping in. This is what we call Practitioner's Corner, and I'm with Natalie, and Natalie's from Moncton, New Brunswick, right? So this week we had 24 practitioners from all around the country, okay, that came to actually, some are already therapists, some weren't therapists. And Natalie, what do you do?
Right now, I'm a hairstylist.
Okay.
Transitioning.
Transitioning to what?
A practitioner.
That's right. So understand something. Now, the course was 22 days, but when we go to Extapa, Mexico, we've added 6 more days onto it because we want to have 6 days to tweak everybody's business and their website and find out personally what are things that they feel they need to work on so they can hold the line when they go home, right? On an emotional, physical, and even on a business level, right? So we had 24 practitioners here, and they all just graduated, and a lot of them have gone home, and tonight we're having a big feast and a party, aren't we?
Yes,
all
we
right,
are.
On the lake, all right? Go figure, right?
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be as good as the party we had 11 days ago?
I don't know. We got big shoes to fill.
We got big shoes to fill. That's right. Life is the party, and understand something. You are the gift, and you need to gift yourself. So, anyways, how did you find out about the New World Practitioner Training?
I found you online.
Oh, really?
Off of Facebook, yeah.
Oh, really? There you go.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you feel that you can go home and actually be able to give people an emotional or a nutritional perfect day and help them to create a roadmap from the minute they wake up until they go to bed and help tweak it?
Absolutely.
Do you believe that you could work on any part of the body and do better than everything they've gotten so far?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and guess what?
Yeah.
She ain't kidding because, guess what? She's going to give you a money-back guarantee. All you people from New Brunswick, okay, Nova Scotia, Halifax, Cape Breton, okay, or anywhere else, it's worth the 3-hour drive. You need to get that. It's worth the 4-hour drive because I will give a money-back guarantee, that's me, that she's going to outdo any treatment that she's ever gotten from anybody else, and she's going to give you those results. Is that the truth?
Yep.
What did you see this week when we were working on people? Did everybody who had had problems for 10, 20, 30 years, were they resolved before they went home? Whether it was in their neck, whether it was in their abdomen from a cesarean, whether it was a fibroid. What about a tumor? How do we do with that stuff?
Pretty good, actually.
Pretty good?
It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk to them about, if you don't mind, on an emotional and physical level. You came here. Why did you come? Did you come for personal reasons mainly, or did you come because you wanted to change your profession, or did you come because you thought maybe there was something special here, or did you come because you just needed a change in your life?
Can I say all of the above?
All of the above. Okay. All right. So why don't we tell people the story? Why don't you start where you feel comfortable?
Sure.
Go back as far as you feel comfortable. Let them know what you've done to help your situation. Do you want to tell them what the situation that you have? Sure. Let's put it this way. Do you want to tell them about the belief that you need to erase, and you didn't erase it in time because the invisible creates the physical. The psychological rules the physical. And understand that if you have a belief that isn't an original, unconditional, self-love, self-care belief, I can guarantee you that you're going to get a disease. And this week with the course, do you believe that if you follow what we've taught over this 22 days, that you would be able to erase the beliefs that aren't based on unconditional love? And then with the techniques, with the Wolfe Non-Surgical and the Perfect Day, do you believe that we would be able to erase everything from scar tissue to get the displaced calcium back into the bones, to melt the crystallization, and even a fibroid or a tumor? What do you think?
I think that's pretty awesome.
Why don't you tell them your story?
So I was diagnosed 4 years ago with ductal carcinoma, stage 2, I guess they would call it.
Some people don't know where that is.
Yeah, it's in the duct of the breast on my left side, and I worked on it. I refused all medical treatments, but I worked on it emotionally and did a lot of work. But until I came here, I didn't realize how much I was still stuck in there. So Dr. Daryl was nice enough to work on me.
But first, let's not go there yet.
No, not yet.
Let's go to what was the emotion
Okay.
attached
Oh.
to the actual creation of this dis-ease.
Okay.
Do you see?
Yes.
You know what? If it's okay, because what you're going to share with them is going to blow every woman's mind out there, and it's also going to blow the minds of the men that love their women. Okay?
Yeah.
Go slow. Take your time.
So I guess.
She's nervous, but she's cute.
So I guess prior to being diagnosed, I was in a relationship that did not really serve me, let's put it that way. And I was not in a good place. And then I was diagnosed about 4 months later after we broke up. And the tone of the relationship was basically I had to do everything and be everything. So it was like my subconscious took him as to be my child. So when we broke up, I really felt as if I had lost him. So that's how this manifested. And now I don't know what to say.
No, and then you decided that you were going to go natural.
Yeah.
You decided that you were a woman enough and you had the power
Right.
to take it into your own hands. You
Yeah.
created it, you decided to uncreate it, correct?
Exactly. That was probably the first time I chose myself over anything else. So I decided to do it my way, and I did.
And that was what?
That was, 4 years ago now.
Okay.
Yep.
So you did the work, and she did a lot of mental work. What did you do? Did you do some juicing and diet changes?
Yep.
And
Quite a bit.
okay,
Yep.
so you did all that, and then you came. Let's fast forward. Then you came here for the course,
Yeah.
and then you did the course, and now you've learned the course. And she's been asking me for 2 weeks to work on her. Okay, so it was about how big? Can you show them? Because I don't want to say it. I want you to do
about this big.
it. Which would be about the size of a larger plum.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was the size of a larger plum, but you also believe that it's not cancerous, right?
Not anymore.
And it's just calcification and scar tissue formation. But here's the deal. Do you know why you got to work on your mind? Because if you don't work on your mind, you could
Activated.
activate it. How do you reactivate it? Can you please tell them? I want you to explain to them why a person would say, I'm a 2-time, 3-time, 4-time breast cancer patient. Why would they say that?
Because when you don't take care of your emotions or the situation or whatever triggered it, you're going to reactivate it subconsciously without even knowing.
Because everything is turned on or turned off by a frequency.
Right.
Cancer is turned on or off by a frequency. Cancer is epigenetic, not genetic. So let's get that perfectly clear. Autoimmune diseases, your headache, it all is. Now, I'm not saying that, if you had a thought that you were undeserving or you didn't have value or you were anger, that it wouldn't have to do with something you ate or the way you treat yourself, because when's the last time you made a salad when you were angry or depressed? You didn't. It was ice cream, or it was tacos, or
Burgers.
alcohol, or smoking, or toking, or
Right.
choking on something, right? Okay, so understand that if we start off with an image. And so what was the image of you when you used to, 6 years ago, what was the image of yourself, you would say, compared to today?
I didn't even know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. And I was just giving everything I had to make it work.
And do you know
Everything.
And do you know why?
I didn't feel worthy.
Yeah, but we can put it as lightly as that. But here's the deal. When we get here, we are pure light spirit. We
Right.
come into the womb. When we come out, we're pure light spirit. That's why our parents can't help but love us, kiss us, lick us. We can poop on them, pee on them, keep them up all night. But when we start to walk and talk like them, then the unconditional love becomes conditional until Mommy won't love you. Daddy won't love you. People won't love you if you do this or that or this or that. And they mean the best, so I'm not running any parents down. So now we learned that love is conditional, and the only way you're going to get love is if you do, and you keep doing, and you keep doing, and you stop being a being, and you start being a doing, and you do for everyone until you exhaust yourself. And guess what? When you don't feed your spirit, then guess what? You get contaminated and corrupted by the belief that you're unworthy of loving yourself and taking care for yourself unconditionally. How's that?
That's exactly it.
So whether you like this or not, I've hardly met a woman, because men won't talk about it, so women come to us. We're like 95% of our clientele are women because they're the ones that nurture. They're the ones that love so deeply, and men don't want to show their feelings. And of course, we're the men. You know, they look at a tree, it's a picnic table. A woman looks at a tree and she says, "Is there a bird in there?" Okay, now, so almost every woman that I talk to, they'll go, "Oh, I know what love is. I know what love is." Yeah, it's something that you keep on giving because you're hoping to get it back for someone to fill up your heart, because your heart is the emotional recorder of all your relationships. And how are your relationships up until 4 years ago? All of them.
Not very good.
Because when you don't deserve love, you'll take, but when you don't deserve love and you don't understand that love's a self-serve job, and you got to fill up your own tank to be tankful, okay, you will take any love in any sort, and we'll usually go for the type of love that we got from our parents. No discredit to the parents. So we're always looking for that type of love. And guess what? Please don't get me wrong, but that's why they call it adulteration, okay? So now what happens is we can't live without love, like we can't live without oxygen. And even if it's contaminated, even if we have to borrow it and it gets taken away from us, because guess what? If you don't do what I say, I'm not going to love you.
Right.
How did that work?
Well, it's toxic.
Yeah, but you went through it. How did it feel?
Not great. It was... That breakup was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what?
So,
and we're not saying... So if the person that was the person that you went out with, it's not your fault.
No.
It's nobody's fault. We come together to grow together, but we should be coming together not as girlfriend, boyfriend, or husband, wife. We should be coming together as two spirit beings, and understanding that we need to help each other to shed that skin like a snake would, to renew ourselves, to find our authentic self. We need to have unconditional love for ourselves. Let me tell you something. When I was 21 years old, I went out with a girl, and her name was Wendy, and I went out with her for a long time. And even though it was a mutual breakup, I didn't get over it for 5 years. 2 years, I hurt so bad. I don't know, you know, I don't know. I couldn't sleep on the couch. I couldn't sleep on the bed. I slept on the floor. I couldn't believe it. And what I realized was, and even though it was the right thing for us to go, it really was. But what I realized was that I used her. That I used her to fill up my heart. And it wasn't her I was missing. I was missing the love that she triggered in me that I already had. So I had to teach myself how to go in here and trigger the love that I am. And once I did that, then I started the whole Braveheart love movement, you know. And back when I was around 27 and really getting into this, I mean, people thought I was a weirdo. They even thought this was some kind of voodoo and something evil to self-care, self-love.
And now I'm super thankful that that happened to me, because it helped me grow into the person I am now.
Well, you know what? The cancer was the answer. And the thing is the C on cancer stands for conflict, contamination, and corruption. And that means the belief that she was holding. So now you take away the C, you're left with ANSER, which means she is her only answer. If she fills up her heart with love, do you know the chances that she's going to find someone that wants to be babied or remain a victim? She's going to find a Braveheart hero that goes, "Girl, you're my goddess. Okay? I'll fill my heart. You fill your heart. We'll come together and we'll have sparks forever." This is why when people marry as husband and wife, within 6 months to a year, the honeymoon is over. Now they're having to do all this work, but they don't have the tools, and they don't understand that unconditional love is not a sin. You're selfish. You're so selfish.
Yeah.
That's somebody saying, I need you to be like me. No. You need to hold the line and love yourself.
Exactly.
So, after this 22 days, what things do you see differently?
I think my attitude has changed for the better. I am much more aware of my programs that I'm still running, working on it. And
We're all working on it. I'm
right.
still working on it. You know, it's like this. 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, there's a new sheriff in town.
Mm-hmm.
I get this. Mm-hmm. I do this every day. Look at the world we live in. You're going to go home to Moncton to no one that hardly believes in unconditional love. Mm-hmm. They know what the word love it means, but love is a contaminated thing. And also, people are going to say they have a good diet. Meanwhile, they've got an autoimmune disease. People are going to say that they love, but meanwhile, their relationship with themselves and everyone else kind of sucks a little.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to hold the line? How are you going to not conform to the norm?
To the norm. I think now... my whole perspective has changed, so there's no way I can go back to how I was before. So, yeah, I'm changing my life for the better.
How's it feel?
Great.
Okay, so
Loving
anyways, let's go back to the old story. Just a little bit. So, for 2 weeks, she's been asking for me to work on her left breast. So we already told you that it was about that big, right?
Yep.
About size, just
Yep.
a little bit larger than a plum, maybe, about that big. Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell them what happened today? And, I'll add a little bit, but I want you to tell how you felt before we started. And she said, it took you 2 weeks to do this, Daryl. And I said, yeah, but you weren't ready. Right. If I would have come in before you were ready, we wouldn't have accomplished what we did today. Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell them the rest of the story?
So, well, we worked on it and...
Well, we came upstairs.
Yeah.
And then Tara came to hold your hand because, it's tough work. And it's tough on an emotional level more than a physical level, women. And you need to get that. Mm-hmm. What she was feeling was not so much the physical pain, but...
the emotional pain.
That you thought you already worked with and got rid of.
Yeah, I did work on it a lot, but I was surprised at the amount that was still in my body.
What were you feeling when I was taking the tumor apart?
I think a lot of grief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your relationship died,
my
but it
whole
didn't.
life, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I feel so light now.
So when we started to work on you, it was the fear first, right?
Yes, there definitely was fear. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got connected to each other's breath, right? And I went in gentle, just kind of mapping out the area. Mm-hmm. And then I had to reposition myself because every tumor's different.
Exactly.
Why don't you tell them a little bit about, it took us 45 minutes?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because you're not going to rush on this thing. Because you got to understand something. There's anger in the tumor because I'm going to deny you. I'm going to deny you. I'm going to hate you. I'm going to push you away. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for the tumor, you wouldn't be here.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Right. So we went into work and you released some stuff, right? And then I when I was pulling it apart, she was more like, can I say it? Moaning. Mm-hmm. Moaning like
pretty much.
Yeah, like the relationship was dying. Mm-hmm. And then when I found the crack in the tumor, okay, I said, now I want you to let go. Mm-hmm. And what did that sound like?
Well, then I screamed.
And that scream was
and
what?
I cried.
Yeah, screamed and cried. But that was the emotion that was locked up. And that's what made the tumor so hard and so angry. So that if you wanted to work on it, it said, piss off.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I went in really lovingly, didn't I?
Yes.
And then when I found it and I said, okay, are you ready? We're going for it.
Mm-hmm. And you sure did. Yeah.
And what happened?
And, well, we reduced it by probably what? 50%?
I'd say 50 to 60.
Yeah.
We reduced it by 50 to 60% over 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And when she comes to Mexico, to do the course. We'll come back on and you'll find out something. When she goes home, she's got more tools in her toolbox to work with called unconditional love and care for herself. And she's going to hold the line, and nobody's going to be allowed to disrespect her, and she's not going to disrespect anyone else, because now she knows that people aren't their beliefs.
Exactly.
Unless they are based on unconditional total love.
Exactly.
So there's no reason to get angry at someone. Well, I see how you feel, but yeah, that's not how I feel, but I'm going to love you anyway.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, and you're not going to let anybody push your buttons.
Nope.
You're not even going to let anybody cause anxiety in you.
Nope.
And you got to understand that that relationship was over way before it was over.
Oh, yeah.
And the reality is that the lover that you want, you got to find inside yourself first. And then when you do find that true lover inside yourself, then you know what? Then love is a self-serve job. She can turn herself on at any time she wants. It's pretty bad when you have to wait for your family to tell you how much they need you, or someone to give you a hug.
Yeah.
That's why we jump into a relationship, because we're gasping for air. We are emotional beings. We are spirit beings. And before we came here, we were white light, which means beyond love. I mean, people say God loves us. What are they, like crazy? Why would God ever treat us like that? It's beyond. So you got to go beyond that. You've got to have unconditional love for yourself. So anyways, yeah. How does it feel? Hot?
It's a little sore.
Yeah. A
But
little
I can
sore.
handle it. Yeah.
Yeah. But understand something. I went deep. I did take it apart. But it wasn't brutal, was it? It wasn't.
No.
You got to understand something. This work is not brutal. It's deep work. And understand this. You've been taught to not look inside, which is where all the answers are. The most beautiful thing in the world is inside you. It is you. Okay? And we've been taught that if it's a tumor or a fibroid, leave it alone. We've been taught that if we're in pain, leave it alone. No, why would you want to help yourself or your family? No, let them suffer till they become a 911 emergency, and then they get to go get chopped up, and they get drugged down. This stops now. And she's going to be one of thousands of New World practitioners around the world. And we're going to prove that, aren't we? We're going to prove that body work out there doesn't work.
Right.
Unless you're turning the scar tissue back into beautiful connective tissue, putting the calcium back into the bones, which was pulled out because you were so on fire, and if it didn't pull the calcium out, you would have blew up. Calcium was saved your life. That displaced calcium.
Exactly.
All right. So is there anything else that you would like to share, that if somebody was in a situation like you, if somebody was not in a situation, but they were worried they were going to be, and what would you like to say to all the women out there that have contaminated love relationships, or they're just putting up with it's good enough?
Right.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
I'd like to say, try to step into your power, and if ever you're in that situation, make sure that you weigh out all your options, not just the first opinion of any doctor that tells you that you're going to die, because you might not. There are other ways to handle things.
Yeah, you can't give better until you know better.
Exactly.
And understand something. Whether you want to believe this or not, whether you're into natural health or not, when they tell you that there's nothing we can do for you, go home, that means that their toolbox is not in great shape. Because understand, we were created by God Almighty, and we came down here to create heaven on earth. And if you're living in hell emotionally or physically, you created it unconsciously because someone said you weren't enough. And you are enough. And the whole world is going to tell you you're not enough because, honey, they want your money. Honey, they want to control you. But if you go deeper than that, you're going to find out that, guess what? Health care is not health care. It's emergency care. And who wants to be in emergency? How would you like to have the perfect day from the minute you get up until you go to bed? How would you like to have somebody guarantee you when they go to work on you? I don't care if you've been to a chiro, massage, acupuncture, physio, you name it. They're going to give you a money-back guarantee. And I guarantee all the therapists that go through our training that I will refund any money from any of my therapists around the world, because they are the best. Now, how are people going to get in touch with you?
They can reach me I'm in Moncton, New Brunswick, and they can reach me at 506-381-3736.
And understand something. You can believe it or not believe it, but if you live anywhere in New Brunswick, she's worth the travel. If you're in Halifax, she's worth the travel. If you're in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, she's worth the travel. And just know, everybody, I had my first clinic in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And within 6 weeks, I was closed down by the RCMP, and the CBC came in and they said that I was a charlatan. So understand something. Narrow-minded, okay? And then when I was in Toronto, the CBC came after me again when I was working on AIDS patients back in the 80s. And then they wanted to actually get me charged for murder. Meanwhile, I was working on HIV patients that everybody else gave up on. Understand something. Stop telling their story. Start telling your own story. Rewrite your own story to be the hero, not the victim anymore. All right? When you were in the situation you were, you felt like a victim, didn't you? Like there was no way out.
Right.
How is it today?
I'm in my power.
She is the way. And that's it. She is the way. So how am I going to get in touch with you again?
506-381-3736. And my name's Natalie.
And her name is Natalie. And Drake, you can put that up out there, right, for everybody? All right? Mm-hmm. So Moncton, that's the place to go. That's what I hear. I love Moncton. I used to go to Moncton. You know, my kids, there used to be some mall or something in Moncton, and there was like, wasn't there a roller coaster and something?
At the Crystal Palace.
At the Crystal Palace, that's right.
They tore it down.
They tore it down. There you go. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now, guess what? We're going to the Extapa Palace, okay? And it's going to be renamed Extapa Palace World Training and Healing Center. Would love to see you come down. Fly into Zuwantanago. We'll pick you up, okay? And when you find out what it's going to cost to come and stay with us and what we're going to teach you, whether you want to be a New World practitioner, whether you want to come and do a personal treatment and training with your family, with your caretaker, with the one you love, okay? We have so many different packages. Or you can just join me online in the fall time, and I'll be doing what's called Healthy to 100 Live, and it'll be a 3-day training to prove that you should go further and that you're more. What would you like to say, everybody, before we leave?
We're going to have to take that out.
We're going to have a party tonight in Peachland if you can make it.
Yeah.
And it's on the lake,
That's
right?
Great. Yeah.
That's right. And we're going to take plenty of digestive enzymes.
Yes.
Because we're probably going to pig out. Okay? Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everyone. So just know this. Today I played Blue Light 5G Toxicity Part 1. Tomorrow's Part 2 at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then on Sunday is Part 3. And then I've got who? David Icke. You don't know David Icke? Well, guess what? 35 years ago, David Icke talked about what's going on right now for the last year. And understand, everybody said he was a quack. Well, guess what? There's people out there that say I'm a quack too, all right? So understand, it's all good, all right? Who said we had to fit in? And if you want to fit in, you're part of the herd, which means you're part of the harvest. And that's not going to happen here today, okay? Find your brave heart. We love you. Take care. And just know, there's a practitioner and a hero inside. Bye now. Good day, I'm Dr. Darryl Wolfe. Do you know why you or your friends or your family are struggling with their health? Well, because they've never been given a strategy. And every time they go to see a health practitioner, whether it's medical or natural, all they're doing is getting Band-Aids. What if we were able to create a strategy that you could create the perfect day from the minute you woke up until you went to bed, and then we continue to guide and support you along your journey as you grow, your program grows. And what if you only paid one price, and you had unlimited support and guidance for the rest of your life? That's called the Perfect Day Consultation. Let me ask you a question. How would it feel? No, wait a minute. How would you like to get the life that you promised yourself or the world promised you? Well, let me tell you something right now. You're never going to have it unless you search for different. And you know what that difference is? The New World Practitioner. Yes, the New World Practitioner training, the 21-day training, okay, is that training. If you want to become something different and you want a different outcome for your patients, and if you want to become financially successful, I have the team to do it. And after the training, guess what? We've only begun to work together, because united we stand. And I will show you that a New World Practitioner is different than anything else out there, and you will be able to push beyond all the beliefs that were blocking you from your success on all levels.